Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Everquest Old School. And on tonight's episode, I am joined by a very good friend. You guys will recognize him as Hydros Inc.
What's up, everybody? I'm playing Thusk, the monk, and I am level 9, guys. Q.
And we are just going to be over here at the pit tonight, killing a little bit of stuff. We were on our Shaman and Druid combo a little while ago, and we decided that we take a break, come over here, because you were getting requests from some of the viewers to play these characters, right?
Yeah, I think it was somebody. It might have been Wild Bear. Wild Bear, man. It might have been Wild Bear who was saying, "Hey, I like the lizard things. I'd like to see more." Or, I read that. I read that message earlier tonight, and I've already forgotten what it says. And that's just because I have a horrible brain, guys. No, I just can't remember stuff. So
No, I'm the same way, man. I get it. But yeah, if you guys want to see us play a certain character and you let us know, we will try our best to do as many videos with those characters as we can. Now, we do have certain nights kind of scheduled for certain games and certain characters scheduled for that night as well. But we like playing these guys. We like playing actually all the characters we have. But these guys are incredibly fun because you get to do things with them that you don't really get to do with any other class. You get to go to all the rooms. I mean, you're the pooler. 90% of the time, probably more than 90% of the time with the monk, is you're going to be the pooler. So you're going to get to go to all those places you never really got to explore with any of the other classes. You're also going to get to try doing the pools that you've only ever heard people talking about with the difficulty, and they're dying out there in the middle of nowhere, and then their bodies are like drugged back to the group to try again. Like, you get to do that part. Now, that could be intimidating depending on like how you play the game and how much responsibility you want on your shoulders. Did you ever find it hard to get into as a pooler back in the day?
No, I remember, like I said, I had Iksar monk guys back in the day, and I loved splitting mobs, man. It was so much fun, and really the only time that I ever remember having trouble splitting mobs was in the hole, guys, because the I want to say elementals, I think they're earth elementals, hit me really hard, and sometimes they would almost kill me before I could feign death or get them back to the group. So that was a very hard zone. I remember having trouble like the first time or so that I went in there and tried to pull it, but I think it got easier after that. But it was a difficult time for me to pull. But no, I loved pulling with my monk. I loved being responsible for getting the mobs back to the group. It's amazing that I'm not a better puller than I am with Thum, because I mess up with Thum quite a bit, but I do enjoy pulling, guys. I really do.
It's been a long time since we've done it, so we're still a bit rusty on certain things. But no, I mean, I was referring to as like you played a druid back in the day, and you played it very much to the point of being a soloist. Period. Like, you don't heal people with your druid. Like, you're that purist of a soloist on that.
No.
Did you find it hard to go from that kind of solo style to going into actual groups and being like the linchpin, like the guy who has to pull everything?
No, because my first character was the cleric. The dark
so you
elf
were
cleric.
already used to groups.
Yeah,
Then.
so
Okay.
I had the group thing down. I had no trouble being a member of the group. Yeah, because like I said, my dark elf cleric was my very first character ever on EverQuest. So.
Yeah, see, my brother, he started playing the game with a druid to start with, and he was just like you, very much to the solo, style gameplay. And when it came time to actually get into groups to do things that he wanted to do, they were very much of a mystery to him because he hadn't played in a group the entire game. And as anybody who has a high level will tell you, it's pretty unforgivable to make some minor mistakes, some very rookie mistakes in a group at that level, because you should know better by now. So for that reason alone, he would get yelled at when he finally did work up the courage to actually get in there and try it out, because you do make rookie mistakes because you never grouped. You have no idea what your role is, what the characters of other people are doing, and what they mean when they say certain stuff. And I had no idea just how much I had picked up and how much I had learned from grouping that he had no clue about. Like, you just take it for granted because you become so accustomed to it. Did you ever have anybody like that you grouped with that you could tell that clearly didn't have a lot of experience on it? They might have been a mage or a necro. You can kind of tell that they soloed a lot of the time.
No, I don't have any memories of that from way back in the day, but I know what you're talking about. I mean, I know how that could happen. If someone played a Druid exclusively, especially if they played the Druid the way that I did, yeah, you're not going to mesh well with groups, guys. You're just because you're all about the solo, and a Druid played solo is a very different beast from a Druid played in a group.
Oh, completely, man. Completely.
Yeah, because you want to nuke more. Well, I always like to nuke more better when I played.
Well, you're gonna have different spells up, right? I mean, you have like your nuking and your dotting spells, which you will almost never use in a group, and then you have your healing spells, which you probably never use very much in a soloing aspect, right?
Not if you're good. I mean, if you're good, you never had to heal yourself because you know the mobs never hit you. What is that spell? Snare. I can't believe I forgot Snare.
Yeah.
But Snare kept the mobs away from you guys, and if you played your character right, you never got hit by a mob. You're playing your character wrong if you're a druid and you were getting hit by a mob. So
did you?
Yeah, I mean, AZ is completely right. I mean, it's a different beast.
Did you ever keep up a heal spell just in case for those situations?
I did because, like I said, sometimes no matter how good you are, guys, you're gonna get tagged, and if you don't heal yourself up between in between quad kites or in between pulls, then you know, druids are very squishy at higher levels.
Oh,
so
very.
you gotta keep yourself at max health. So there's a chance that you can actually survive the pull that you pull.
I actually think they're probably the squishiest guys because shamans at least get chainmailed.
Wizards are the squishiest, dude.
No, but they're not healers.
But they get as far as healers, I agree with that. But as far as class, wizards are much squishier because they can only wear cloth.
Yeah, I agree with that on that one. I was just thinking as far as healers go.
Oh yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. The druids are definitely the squishiest.
Because
we only get leather. Do you think we can handle a yellow bandit, my friend?
I think we can. I think we've been doing pretty well on the evens. My min does not back up, but it actually worked on the last one.
Is he hurt? Is he hurt?
He might be. There's a necro over here. Yeah, I think he's hurt. That's the necro killing him.
Oh, okay. Then I better leave him alone.
You got something on you.
Yeah, I got a little skilly. He's gonna die really quickly.
Evens are still pretty good. Now, did you run around with your chloroplast on back in the day, or did you not use that spell very much?
Oh God, yes. Yeah, I mean, I kept regen, I kept Sal, I kept strength, and I kept my hit point buff, hit point and AC buff up at all times, especially before a pull. I would actually, I would cast them. And then meditate again. I would meditate to full. I would cast my buffs, and then I would meditate again.
Just because your fights lasted so long that your buffs might actually wear off if you don't do it that way, right?
Right. No.
And see, in a group, you don't really have that problem. You'll cast the buffs as you get the power to do so, which can be incredibly hard depending on your class and the makeup of the group. And then you'll just keep killing, and you never really worry about the buffs wearing off. You're just keeping a timer on it because you'll kill, 15, 20, 30 mobs in the amount of time that a druid may only kill one, but you got to remember that experience isn't split up between 6 people.
Right.
So they're getting a lot more experience. It still evens out to be slower in the long run and a little bit more dangerous, but I have nothing against soloing. In fact, it's very fun to do, and because you get to do it on your own rules, and you can do it all by yourself. I actually, a lot of the time, really was envious of people who could solo, because other times with my cleric, I'd be sitting at the entrance to a group for 6, 7, 8 hours waiting, or the entrance to a zone, waiting to get into a group, because it was so, overly populated that day. Whereas soloers, they could go off to some remote area, even when all their, prime spots were taken, and kill something. What were your prime spots, and what were some of the backups that you remember going to when those were taken?
With the druid, I got to pick, as long as it was an open door arena, an open door. I'm drawing
an outside,
as long as it was an outdoor zone. I never really had to okay, this is overly camped, overly saturated. I never had to say that to myself because
really?
I could always pick a mob. If I was soloing just a single mob, I could always pick a yellow mob out there somewhere in that zone and find it and kill it without really being impacted by how many people were in the zone. So, and plus, once a druid gets Druid gets a track, it's like basically you can pick whatever mob you want, and I
That's
mean it's
true.
kind of ridiculous, yeah.
But did you not find that there was like one easy named mob that people could kill with the druid that seemed to always be camped regardless?
Um,
Because you got to admit that as a soloing class, you don't really get to kill names that often that still give you experience. Like you might be able to kill them, but you know they probably long since stopped giving you experience at that point.
man, I can't remember. I'm sorry, bro. I'm drawing a blank
Oh,
as
okay.
far as any names that I could solo with my yeah Druid.
Because it's pretty short. You know, you don't get to do that a lot. You don't get to do that a lot with most classes. Like the names are designed to be fought with groups. So even
Yep,
at
yep.
higher levels, they usually do something special, like an insane, poison, or they charm you, or they do this and that. And even if you're like 15, 20, or even 30 levels higher than them, it could still, depending on your class, be a very, very tough fight. So, you just I don't know. I can't think of a lot of fights that names are sitting out in the open. They usually have 2 or 3 friends within that area that's going to pull with them. So, as a druid, you're not really going to want to fight 4 people at once, especially if one of them's a named. So you're just not going to do a pull like that unless you have a group with you. Now, I have seen Necros band together and do that.
I was lucky. I had a good guild, man. I had Age of Apocalypse. It was full of friends. And the friends were the kind of people who, if you said something, not only were they the kind of friends who would gladly help you, but they were looking to help each other. We were in such a guild because we had that base of 10 real life friends. We were looking to help each other. We were looking. I mean, we would drop groups. We would drop. Sometimes even raids and stuff like that, guys. If a guildie needed us, but that's just because, like I said, we were real life friends, and we invited other, real life friends in. Like maybe the guy wasn't exactly my friend, like my ninth friend, the ninth guy I knew, but he was a guy he knew. So we got those kind of people in the guild. We got our friends in the guild, and it became that kind of guild that was really tight knit and really out to help each other no matter what. So I got really lucky as far as my first guild in Everquest.
Yeah, I mean, guilds were so hit and miss back in the day. You could have a really good guild like that, or you might,
Get
spend,
a really bad one.
yeah, you'll spend months in just like mediocre ones or really crap ones. And it's just like you need that experience to learn what a guild is all about, whether you want it to be more about
Oh, don't
soloing
help
or
me,
more
bro.
about
Don't help me. I'm
grouping.
gonna die.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna die. Watch out. I'm gonna try and get him in the guard.
I can pull it off if you need to, save you a little bit of life.
Okay, as long as you don't mind running.
Well, I
Because
think you're doing okay. I'll come with you just in case.
all
I'll
right,
pull
yeah.
it off of you if you go any lower. But
Just let me know when he gets close to me, dude. Because
he's right on your butt, man. Like he's literally a few. I would say about 6 feet, maybe
okay, 'cause
7.
when I jump, it gives me a little bit of lead.
Yeah,
So,
but
yeah,
you're gonna run out
he's-
of your stamina too. So watch that. Watch your stamina
Yeah,
bar.
I've got over half left, so
I don't
I'm
think
not
the.
gonna.
I really don't think that jump actually helps, but it looks cool. So
I think it does, man.
here you go. Here's the guard. Come on, go attack. What are you doing? Why are you doing? Oh man, he completely ignored you. I guess you didn't run close enough to him. Yeah.
Oh, no.
There's another guard up there. Make sure you run right on top of that dude. Oh, and he's
Okay.
going the path you're going. That's good. That's exactly what you need. That way you don't have to stop. You can just, stay right there with him.
Oh no, Glitzer, I hope you don't die.
Come on, do it. Do it. Attack. Oh, yeah. Holy crap. One hit.
Yeah.
Jeez. Look at that, guys.
Woo. All right.
That was
I think
nuts.
we should go to the second one, man. I think we might be stealing mobs from noobs, even though the mobs me and you've been pulling are tough, man. I mean, they're either blue, even, or yellow to me. So
Yeah, you're right. Let's go over to the second little ramp over here. And the reason, like he said, for moving down there is just to give people who are not familiar with the area a chance to hunt there, because the path goes directly to that one. So even somebody brand new to the game is going to be kind of, pulled or pushed in that direction. Whereas if you're familiar with it, you've gotten off that beaten path a little bit. You know where to go, and that's one of the things I loved about this game is there are no rules. Like there's a path. What are you giving me?
just a dagger, man. You need that, dude.
I don't think so, but yeah, there's a path through the zone sometimes. Sometimes there's not. So you can kind of just run off in some direction, and that's one thing that you're really not going to get to experience in this game if you go to the wiki all the time to look stuff up, is just the overall awe of the game being as big as it is and not knowing how to get places. I remember when they came out with new expansions, people were like, how do you get to the new zones? Nobody knew. It might have been 4, 5, 6, 7 hours before finally somebody figured out the way to get to the new zones. You can pull whenever you're ready, man.
I just wanted to give everybody a tip, guys. If you're a class that has safe fall, I just want you to know that these little ramps right here, they're like the perfect place to practice your safe fall, guys.
Yeah.
I've actually got mine up to level 50 doing it. Of course, it's not going to level up now that I'm actually trying to show you guys that oh, there we go. Safe fall 41. So, yeah, man. Definitely come over here and practice your skills if you get a chance, guys. Oh, that scorpion's even to us, so I'm definitely going to pull him.
I'm only at 29 on my safe fall, so I need to do that a little bit more often. But, if you're in a good group and you're over here killing stuff and you're not really worried about your life and you have mend, feel free to do that in a group. Just make sure that you're very well aware of what you're pulling and if there's going to be any mobs, because you don't want to do that. Keep your life at like 60, 70% power, or life, and draining the cleric's power or the shaman, whoever you might have, and then pull a really, really hard mob and everybody die because of it. So if it's an easy group and that's not going to really happen, by all means go for it. But there's other things you can do as well to pass the time. You can play gyms. I don't know if you played that one yet, have you?
I have. It's excellent.
I used to play that all the time when I used to sit over there at the Golden 3D room.
I'm gonna heal up a little bit, brother.
You got Mend on?
No, Min's been down for a while.
Okay, so
I got to get out of the habit now that it's working almost 70% of the time. I got to get out of the habit of pressing it when it pops up. I've just got into the habit of every time Min pops up, I press it, even
just
if I don't
train
need it.
Yeah,
just to train it. So I need to get out of that habit. So it's gonna take a while probably.
Okay, I am pulling in a bone biter.
All right.
We're gonna kill this thing. Just let me keep the aggro. That way you can kind of take a rest and.
Oh, there's Min right there. Yeah,
there
it just popped up.
Oh, nice! Look at that, man! All the way back up to 94%. Not bad at all.
It's working a lot more than it's failing now. So.
What's your skill at? Did you say?
I would need to look at that. Let me look at that right quick. After I do a round kick.
Now, how often did you notice your mend actually going up as you used it?
It's 50. My mend is at 50. It went up pretty good. It hasn't gone up for a while though now, so.
Well, what? 1 out of every 3, 1 out of every 5. What was the ratio you think?
I'd say 1 out of every 2 or 1 out of every 3 at lower levels. It seemed like it went up pretty fast. And Mem does not pop up very quickly, guys. It takes it a minute to actually pop up. So
there used to be a cheat with that. Every time you zoned, it used to reset. So people would sit at the zone line, find mobs that they could fight there, and every single time they killed something, they would just zone it, mend themselves, mend themselves. They'd be back up to full life and ready to go again. But that is no longer something you can do. So that was just a little programming glitch, or maybe an oversight on the programmer's side, and didn't realize that was going to be a thing. People found a way to exploit it because people were always looking for a way to get a little bit quicker on the leveling, because it is really slow, guys. And at the time, this was really one of the only games out like it. You couldn't go over to another game. There's what, a couple hundred, if not 1,000 MMO, multi-online role-playing games like this out now. And go ahead, man.
I would say you're right. There are a lot of MMOs, but none like this. Everquest.
Well, I just meant the same genre.
Yeah, I know what you meant. Everquest is it for me, guys. World of Warcraft is probably a close second as far as MMOs, and there are a lot of people out there who would say, "Oh, World of Warcraft is better" and stuff like that. And I'm not going to sit there and argue semantics with you, but for me, EverQuest is the best MMO RPG ever made. So.
Well, again, that's all up to what you prefer, what you enjoy.
It's your opinion.
We're playing right now several other ones. We're playing that Star Trek Online. We're playing the Dungeons & Dragons Neverwinter. And we're also playing...
having a lot of fun playing them too, guys. We really are. I don't know, which one do you like better, man?
It's hard to pick because, like I was going to say, every MMO out there is a little different from the other ones. And that little difference can be, all that you need to make sure that's the one for you. And so I'm liking all of them, actually, guys. I'm liking the Star Trek universe, or Star Trek Online, because the universe that they allow you to go into is friggin' awesome. Like, it's a universe that I grew up watching on television, so I am all for playing in that one. And then Dungeons & Dragons Online, Neverwinter, that one, again, is a series that, as a younger man, I've played quite a bit. I used to do that whole D&D with the paper and playing with your friends and all that other stuff. So that's something that brings me back to that kind of age. So, yeah, it's just, it's just something different, each one. And I would highly suggest that you play, as many of them as you feel comfortable doing. But then, after you played each one for a few months, then go back and decide which one you actually like. Because an MMO is a big commitment, whether you realize it or not, guys. These things can suck up like years of your life because they take so long to level up, and they're so massive, and you start getting friends in there, and it makes it just a wonderful experience. So, yeah, I would say take that extra little time and find the game that's right for you. And then within that game, make sure you find the character that's really right for you as well, because that makes a big difference. Out of all the characters you've ever played on any game, what do you think is your favorite? What's the best class out there?
That's a loaded question, dude.
No, I mean, because you're playing right now. You're playing Oblivion, and you love playing the orc, right?
I do. I like the fighter class when it comes to Skyrim. I think the warrior class has got it best on the Elder Scrolls games. But now when it comes to Everquest, I think I dig my druid the best. So I have to be honest with that, guys. I love Thuum. Not putting him down at all, but I love I love my druid. I'd say he's my funnest to play, especially when I start quad kiting, guys. It won't even be a contest. But now for Star Trek, I'm also playing a warrior type like Thuum, and for Neverwinter Nights, I'm playing a rogue. And me and AC have been having a blast on that game, guys. And I'm loving my rogue. He's awesome. So I don't know if I can hem myself in by just picking one character, because the only character that I haven't played and kind of refuse to play, guys, for reasons that we've went into, is a bard. I'm not saying bards are a bad class. I love having a bard in the group with me on P99. I love it, but it's just not one. It's just not a class for me because I don't feel like singing. So I never sing.
Yeah, I think warriors are usually one of the easiest classes to play, simply because they have the least amount of stuff you have to learn with them. They're pretty straightforward. They're a warrior. They go out, you push a button, and you attack stuff. All the other classes can be really, really complicated if they want to be, depending on the game. They could be really easy as well, but, a wizard could have just tons and tons of spells and different skills and different attributes that you need to know about, whereas a warrior, whether you concentrate on one-handed weapons or two-handed weapons or whatever, you're still going to be striking. So if you go with more strength, you're pretty good. You're going to be, pretty safe with that bet. And so it's just an easier class overall to start with. Maybe not to master. I think all the classes out there will take a knowledge base and experience from playing the game to master. Once you've got to that point, but. Yeah, I definitely would go with the warrior, to be honest, for most games that I'm unfamiliar with and I'm kind of unsure about whether I want to go with the more difficult task of playing a caster. Casters, they're usually the hardest because they're so weak, and you get so few chances to make mistakes with them before you die. What's your favorite when you play solos? Like when you play like a single player campaign?
Definitely my druid so far, guy.
Okay, so
definitely druid as far as solo class. I haven't met.
You had a necro in the past,
well,
though,
necromancer.
Right?
Yeah, I forgot about the necromancer. I'd still say that I liked my. Okay, back up, dude. This guy is kicking your face in.
Yeah, he sure is. But I don't think. There he goes.
There we go.
Nice. Yeah, these two one-handers, man, they are freaking insane.
Yeah.
they get the aggro every single time. Like, there's nothing I can do about that.
And men failed, of course. But that's all right.
There
we got him
goes.
on the run.
He's running now.
Anyway, guys, I think this. Ooh, ding.
Congrats, man. Yeah, that's what we were waiting for right there, guys. Ended on a high note.
Yeah, I think this is a good place to end the episode, guys. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Me and AC really appreciate it, guys. If you're watching my channel, I would consider it a favor if you guys would go over there and check out some AC Gamers videos. Check out his Terratech series, guys. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to watch. It's very interesting, guys. So, anything you want to say before we take off, AC?
No, just thanks again for watching, guys. I definitely look forward to catching you next time.
Subscribe.